The United States dollar backed by silver, gold, and platinum. We have a presidential candidate growing in popularity who put forth that proposal yesterday, and we need to dig in, talk about the plan, and talk about the interesting ramifications for silver, for gold, and platinum, because it could send the price, the value of the metal skyrocketing. But haven't we tried this once before in the United States? Why would we even consider going back to a gold-backed currency? I mean, it didn't work too well, did it? Remember up until 1971 here in the United States? Well, think about it. It actually was a great time. The middle class was stronger than ever. We had an economy that was leading the world. And in 1971, President Richard Nixon took the United States temporarily. Don't forget, he said temporarily took us off the gold standard. And his presidential candidate right now, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., is he ready to end that temporary state and bring the United States back to real hard money? Let's dig into what he said. He was speaking on July 19th at a Heal the Divide PAC event. Kennedy claimed that backing the U.S. dollar with what he called hard currency, including gold, silver, platinum, or Bitcoin, we're going to have to talk to him, could restabilize the American economy, right? Restabilize, provide a foundation for our money, right? Like we've had in the past, which has worked in the past. Now it gets interesting. He said, quote, backing dollars and U.S. debt obligations with hard assets could help restore strength back to the dollar. Rein in inflation. We don't have an inflation problem, do we? Have you been to the grocery store lately? And usher in a new era of American financial stability. We haven't had any financial instability. No. Just the tech bubble that burst in 2000, the great financial crisis in 2008, all kinds of financial instability over the last number of years. And bring us peace and prosperity. More on that later. This is fascinating. Investing in silver and gold can be difficult at times. I want you to know you always have a refuge here in the basement with me, where we can have some camaraderie and support for one another as we navigate these choppy waters. I'll put out a new video every day. Something valuable about silver and gold. It would be my honor if you join me. Please subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. Kennedy explained the process would be gradual. That, depending on the plan's success, he'd adjust the amount of backing for the dollar. He says, quote, my plan would be to start very, very small. Perhaps 1% of issued T-bills would be backed by hard currency, by gold, silver, platinum, or Bitcoin, he said. Additionally, Kennedy declared he would make Bitcoin to U.S. dollar conversions exempt from capital gains tax. Well, I have a question for you, Mr. Kennedy. If you're going to do that for Bitcoin, why aren't you proposing that also for gold and silver, exempting conversions from dollars to gold or silver from capital gains tax? We do have a bone to pick with you on that one. Kennedy's latest round of pro-Bitcoin comments come in the wake of his appearance at Miami's Bitcoin 2023 conference. Interesting. He was there on May 19th, where he announced that he would accept political campaign donations in Bitcoin. Do you think maybe that has something to do with his announcement that he would exempt Bitcoin transactions from capital gains tax? We're going to look into that further. This is also very interesting. RFK Jr. is one of many presidential hopefuls to make sweeping crypto-based promises. On July 14th, Republican candidate and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis promised to ban central bank digital currencies if elected. We've got presidential candidates talking about moving away from CBDCs and moving toward hard, real currency, hard, real money. DeSantis said, if I'm president, on day one, we will nix central bank digital currency. Done, dead. Not happening in this country, DeSantis said. Let's get back to RFK Jr. and more regarding his idea to back the U.S. dollar with silver, gold, and platinum. He said this: my uncle, President Kennedy, when he was in office, understood the importance of hard currency and the dangers of having pure fiat currency with no other option. He understood the relationship between fiat currency and war. Fiat currency and very, very destructive environmental projects. And also these giant aggregations of wealth and the unbalance, the disparities in wealth that are the ultimate yield of every fiat currency. Do we have disparities in wealth? Guys, look, they hide this information from us, but over the last several decades, the distribution of wealth in the Western countries, the top 1%, the top 0.51%, the top 10 people in the world, it's unbelievable. I read a statistic not too long ago. This one will knock your socks off, that the 3 richest men in the United States have as much wealth as the bottom 50%. So I think it's safe for us to say that this fiat money system they created has resulted in a horrific situation when it comes to wealth distribution here in the United States. Mr. Kennedy went on to say, fiat currency was invented to fund wars. I like base currencies because they make it more difficult. You have to go to the public. You can't just print money to fund the war and tax the public through the hidden tax of inflation. Yes, the hidden tax of inflation, right? Oh, we want to send a couple billion or hundreds of billions to some foreign country to help them with their war efforts. Well, they don't even have to ask you and me, the American public, right? They just print the money up. Oh, yeah, makes inflation go up, right? We go to the grocery store. Oh, we'll pay a little extra for our banana we eat every morning. Whatever. Little by little, they tax you and me through inflation, a currency, a money system tethered to real assets, gold, silver, platinum, palladium, right? They can't do that because they need to have the metals in order to print the money. You actually have to go to the public, he said. Here's what this war is going to cost. Look, guys, this is fascinating to me. Just the fact that we have a presidential candidate, right? And he's growing in popularity. This is not a political channel. I'm not saying I'm supporting him or any other candidate. That's your decision for yourself. But the fact that we have presidential candidates that are explicitly stating that maybe, just maybe, we won't have CBDCs. Maybe, just maybe, it might be a good idea to back our dollar with real assets, make it real money again, gold, silver, platinum. I'm not crazy about the Bitcoin idea, but nonetheless, again, the fact that we're looking at metals is very optimistic. And you know what? I always say this, and you may or may not agree with it. I believe the world has always been on the gold and silver standard. As long as men have traded with each other, thousands and thousands of years. Yes, sure. Like Mr. Nixon admitted, temporarily, he took us off the gold standard, the silver standard. But the reality is the world has always been on the gold and silver standard. Why do you think the central banks of the world are buying gold at a near record pace? Hey, thanks for joining me today. Go watch a live stream, and I'm going to look forward to seeing you next time.